We're just chilling today. I think there's this tendency to feel confusion, or I sometimes want to do like the best possible thing. And sometimes I can confuse myself thinking, oh, I have to be at this place at this time. And if I don't, then it's the end of the world. And so far, that hasn't been the case. So it's just like, you just trust God, you do what you can. I'm really thinking about me a couple years ago when I was feeling particularly broken the first after my first relationship, and just learning to talk to God about things that I didn't do very well, and that talking to him about how I was feeling broken, because I've just learned to have that open dialogue with God, because He knows what's going on and He'll take you however you show up. He loves you whether you're feeling like super high energy, joyful, loving life, loving every single moment, every single everything about life. And also those times you feel like so completely broken, so completely like unlovable and a complete waste of space. And if you're even to think about showing up at that event or whatever, that you would just get shunned out immediately. He loves you in both of those times the same amount. He loves you perfectly wherever you are. And I'm learning to accept that and understand that more. And that not showing up is it's missing out on something. And I think of what Sahil Bloom, he made this video a while ago about showing up. And he talked about how he has an A goal, a B goal. So the A goal is like everything's lined up, you're in a good position, you can just lock in, go all the way, and that's like plan A. Then you have plan B, where maybe you don't feel as great, maybe you're more stressed out, maybe you don't have as much time to work with. Well, get something on the board and you can just kind of chill with that. And then there's the C goal, which is the bare minimum. Like for him, it's like a 15 walk if it's exercise. Like you're still putting something on the board, even if very much. And I think this is super important to solidify any perceived identity you want to have, is definitely to show up for that version of yourself. I've been creating this new version of self with God's help. We've been co-creating it for the past couple years since the breakup. That really was the catalyst for so many amazing things in my life, but also a lot of really tough conversations. I went to therapy for a little bit, and now I've been building out this new version where, I speak and I do all these things, and I've written books and things that I wanted to do, but it's like so much bigger than I ever imagined it being. And it's exciting. It's exciting. And it's something that I just have to keep going to God about and not stressing out about, and just letting God do what He wants to do in my life and showing up how I'd like to show up. There's been times, or how I can show up, not necessarily how I'd like to. There's times where I'd like to show up at a much deeper level, and all I really have the mental bandwidth and emotional stamina for is like a couple minute prayer, and it's like that's fine. For me with this, like yesterday, I did that little 10-minute live stream, and it was just in between getting to that train station and getting picked up. And that was fine too. So it's just solidifying that. I was reading from the book The One Thing when I was on the train last time, and he has this thing called the focusing question. I thought it was very insightful. He just mentioned, like, what is the one thing that if you did, it would make everything else easier or like unnecessary? And I thought about it. I felt like for me, it's probably like speaking, because I love speaking, like speaking out of school or something, and being able to get track for my books, which would lead to more people listening to my podcast, and then it all just kind of all feeds into each other. I think I've been able to get that feedback loop kind of figured out a tiny bit, but it still has a long way to go. That's the thing though, because I'm playing a long game, and long games get the best prizes, and stupid games get stupid prizes, obviously. And the key with playing the long games is that you intend to play for a long time. Whatever is more sustainable, whatever is long term easier for you to do, uh, and makes more sense and goes along with the identity you want to solidify, that's probably the game that you want to play. I mean, every video game, not every video game, but a lot of video games have like little mini games along the way that you can play, but you don't play the mini games that much. You don't play the mini games only. Like the mini games are just a side. So I think of like different things in my life that would be considered as mini games. Might be going and getting my hair cut or meeting people or some of the adventures I went on, but they're not the main thing. The key with the main thing is to keep it the main thing. Once I have a family, whenever the heck that will happen, we're not rushing this at all. No, we're just chilling. But once that does happen, like that's obviously the main thing. It's the main thing for me right now, family. But there's times where you do have to make some sacrifices there because you just genuinely, uh, you don't have to. However, it just, yeah. I was planning to work more this week. I did not work as much this week as I wanted to. I invited to a movie night with some friends, and I am not going to that because I do not, yeah. I was planning to do one of these, and I was planning to talk about something completely different, but we're just talking about this here and now, and there's literally nobody here, and that's fine. And yeah, it's just it is what it is. So it's like I do some work on the computer, gonna work more tomorrow, and just pray like crazy and see what happens. So yeah, God is no respecter of persons, and He knows how to make things come together. And I'm definitely in the ringer right now, definitely getting tested and learning to give God all of my stress and worry and pain and time, words, and everything, really. It's just it's a test. It's a test. And I really was going through a horrible, difficult couple of years ago. It was a lot harder to see the good in my life back then. A lot of my conversations with people were not very future did not seem very bright at all. And gradually things started to get better as I talked more openly with God about things, and I told him I wanted to be better and all these other things, and then, came together. And now these days, when some broken part of me comes up, as happens as you continue to ascend, you'll see a lot of these things more clearly that maybe you have not healed from yet. I show up to those things and talk to God about them, and He helps me work it. But it's still taking time, and there's still some deliverance that is imminent, and that feels really far away, but it might not be very far away. And I just want to get to the next part as clean and as focused and as a place as I can be. We can't go back and change anything. Can't go back to previous days where I didn't really get very much done. Certainly can't go back to any of those days when I was fresh from the breakup and was low-key dead inside and hurting. However, we can consider where I'd like in the future and then bring that all the way back to here and do something to move the ball forward. So in this case, it's showing up here to hype up my paddle from a couple years ago. Also to remind myself that it's okay to not show up in this big, crazy, amazing way. There's no pressure to do that. Oh my goodness. I could go on and on about pressure. I've put so much pressure on myself. It's actually insane. And I think as I've healed more and as I've grown, I've put more pressure on myself, which is crazy. I think, yeah, it definitely needs to change. But I think sometimes I have some expectation, like something big is going to happen. When the reality is, I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. Matthew 6 talks about how tomorrow is taken care of, and sufficient unto the days the evil thereof. So end of the day, we just count the blessings. Got taken to dinner by a friend today, so that was awesome. Very blessed. I got to do a cold call for some cold calls for my friend, and one of those led to a demo. So that was awesome. So that's gonna next week, and that's great. Look at this hair. Holy, it's crazy. It's crazy hair. It's like, goodness gracious. I was planning to get it cut tomorrow, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's just beyond crazy. And you should see the back of it. It's just like, it gets all curly. It's like when I was like 2 years old. Yeah, it gets way curly. Anyway, I need a haircut. But it's just one day at a time, and the pressure just can be so suffocating, because especially like when you're in a really dark spot and you feel pressure to like be in a much better spot, but you're in that dark spot. You're like, well, I'm not just gonna magically snap my fingers and I'll be in a way better spot. That's not gonna happen. Like way back when I was moving through feelings with the breakup and therapy and stuff, like I wasn't gonna just, maybe for other people it's different, but for me it was like, this isn't just gonna magically go away. That's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. You have to be patient with yourself as things improve. See, as you continue to do things that would be good for the future desired self, for yourself, and not make stupid mistakes and learn from all of the lessons you learned and move forward, like it will be okay. It'll be all right. So, yeah, that's a tough lesson to learn. There's mistakes, there's some things, there's some pains and things you can cause to yourself that have ramifications for a while and could be for a really long time. The heart is where everything else flows from. It says that in Proverbs 4:23, just out of the heart flows everything else. So yeah, like I love talking to people. I love going out and meeting new people and stuff. And I was doing a lot of that last couple days. Today was just super chill, and just like, just it's just okay. We'll just be here. So I remember I did this experiment last year where I didn't talk to people very much for almost an entire week. I just really listened to life, and that was a beautiful week. It was also a humbling week. So it was like I really wanted to talk to people, but I just couldn't. I just love talking to people. I love encouraging people and listening to them and all that good stuff. I love hearing how people are doing and everything. It's just like at the end of the day, I got to pour into me. So I was thinking about this. I was going to do one of those hanging by the tree live stream, and I was going to walk all the way, and I was going to do all these things just to do a live stream. But I was like, that's really serving other people, which would be fine. But it's like, how do I really pour into myself in this moment? So I was like, well, I'm probably need to do some writing, and then I need to work on some stuff. So it's like, yeah, I can do that, you know? I can take care of that. So, yeah, there's some things where you just have to let go and let God lead you through that healing process. And you have to let God help you with taking care of what was mismanaged or whatever the case may be. When trust broken, it takes a really long time to build back up, and that includes trust with yourself. And sometimes the answer is a ending. It's a necessary ending. That is the answer to move forward. It's cutting off ties. It's cutting off that previous identity. It's anything like that. It says in Matthew, I said, if your eye offends you, cut it off. If your hand offends you, cut it off. Just like, just get rid of it. So obviously, I don't think he meant like literally to do that. However, there's a need, unlike we've seen in history, for a man and a woman and just all of us on planet Earth to be really intentional with our time, energy, money, and everything else, because we live in a time where there's so much demand for all these things and there's so little supply in the grand scheme of things, and mostly time, especially when you get older, when you get rich. Me watching this in the future that is a lot more rich than I am right now will understand very well, like, this is you don't get time back, and that's a humbling realization. But sometimes the win is just making it to this day. Sometimes the win is hanging out with a friend that you haven't seen for a while. And there's something beautiful about that. So, yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about when I was in college, and I can be sort of susceptible to jumping in on new things. I remember when Clubhouse came out, and I was just like so excited because one of my friends, like, because it was invite only, and that created some initial buzz for it. And one of my friends like gave me a code, so I got in, and I remember doing some Clubhouse meetings um, way back in the day, and yeah, might be fun to, if I could possibly go back and save those and re-upload them, that might be fun. Yeah, I just sort of just talked for like 15, 20 minutes straight, like a podcast, but it was all live. And I usually didn't have very many people in my Clubhouse rooms. I think I had like 40 or 50 followers at my like peak. And then I kind of stopped using it because I was just like, I don't really think so. And yeah, there was also a bunch of other things that came in to make Clubhouse obsolete like really quickly. Like Twitter came out with their Twitter Spaces. Facebook did something as Facebook does. So yeah, it's been humbling to watch these platforms all evolve, become better, and change, and we need to do the same thing. Not necessarily in employing things that could be sort of gimmicky, but in doing things that would help us to be better at doing the things that we'd most like to do. And I think a broken heart opens the door for a lot of change, a lot of introspection, and a lot of just new opportunity. Because after my breakup happened, it really felt like I was starting at life again, and I was just like, I guess we're just moving on. No job. It was just me and God. That's all it was. It's a very sacred, special time. Lots of pain. Sleeping was sometimes really difficult, and it's just very humbling. You're just like, wow, all these things happened, and I, participated in all this happening, and my lack of being intentional and being filled with love and focus, and all these things, choosing to be stressed out about things I didn't need to be stressed out about, and et cetera, led to this place that uncomfortable. And God was very aware that I was not very pleased with how everything was going. And then things turned around. It took time, and there's been some ups and downs. There's been some serious pain. There's been some serious pain. There's been some serious healing. There's been so many crazy angel people that have just come into the picture out of nowhere, just to kind of encourage me and remind me, like, God is looking out for you and it's gonna work out. So yeah, it's really humbling when you recognize that like, although God is probably not going to show himself to you and be like, hey, like, it's going to be okay, he will show you through other people. And just to remind you that he's looking out for you, and he knows your feelings, and he knows your pain, and he knows everything else. and he's able to send the blessings once it's all taken care of. And until then, it is good to be the best possible agent for improving as you possibly can. So a question you could ask yourself is, what would you know what would being an agent for my best life look like right now? What does that look like? Certainly it doesn't look like falling into some cheap dopamine or doing something that was super not planned and a waste of time. It's really humbling too, because when I first on YouTube like 20 minutes ago to do this live stream, I saw some notifications, but my goal with getting on here wasn't to check my notifications. So I didn't check my notifications, even though I could have. I know it's probably gonna be like, oh, this person updated and this person left a comment and this person did this. And it's like, that's great. But it's way better when you can just let yourself breathe and not respond to the psychology that's literally designed to hook you in, and not to do that, not necessarily just to do that, but to form a habit. And the habit is, when I see a notification, I must click on it. That is so very not true. On Facebook, I don't even check my notifications anymore, dude. It's like, it's obsolete. It's literally like so many, and they're all like for the dumbest things ever. It's like, this person left a comment on this other thing, and this person did this. Oh, you might like this too. It's like, no, Facebook, I care. I don't care at all. Why are you pretending to know what I like? But it's just one of those things. I put notifications, depending on the platform, on different levels. I would probably put Substack notifications like pretty high up. And then Facebook, I put like way bottom. YouTube, I probably put up here, and maybe LinkedIn over that. Because like with LinkedIn, at least it could be like somebody reaching out, some connection request. Dude, I haven't done anything on LinkedIn in months. I think a part of it is because I just don't really know what to do. I've just been sort of working on myself and working on my friend's startup and writing, which has been good. But I don't know. There's such opportunity out there, especially once you let go of anything that could be pulling you back towards past life or anything like that, because it's done and over with, right? There, you've started anew, and God loves to help us have new things, and we can just get better at talking to Him about these things, and that will lead to more abundant a life. And especially in those times we feel really susceptible and stressed out and all those other things, just get better at talking to God about it is a game changer. I think the biggest things I'm learning right now in this moment is just to be okay, completely okay with not going to an event, not going to this thing or that thing or whatever thing. It's like, well, there's opportunity cost. Obviously, I can't work all day and all night. I need to sleep, and I do need to socialize and stuff. But like Monday and Tuesday, I didn't really work very much at all, if at all. I did work on my writing. I did work for my own stuff, but it's like that stuff doesn't really make much money for me very much right now. So those are some of the thoughts that we're having right now. There's this sense of awe that somehow, some crazy, ridiculous way that I do not understand, God was able to help me to create a brand new life and a brand new beginning for myself. And it's way better than I could have ever imagined. Life is a lot more beautiful and wonderful and tasty than it was. Like, I'm just a lot more excited generally, and I have a lot to share, and it's fun. I have a lot of love to give, and I feel at peace and calm. It's great. And it took time to get here. And it's recognizing that the best is ahead. So I think of like how, like putting this out there may not even be anybody that really watches it or something. But like in the future, like somebody could watch this down the road. And a lot of it is doing it for that person, showing up and continuing forward. So I tend to stress out about the timeline with different things because, especially in college, my last semester, I had multiple big projects for my spreadsheet analysis class, and it was so easy to stress out about them because they'd take like a month to do, or that's how long we usually had before in between them, and they probably take like a week or so to get done, but you need like that whole week to like work on it, and you couldn't get help from anybody else. I mean, you can get some help from the teacher, but not very much. And those were stressful. And I remember before that class started, I had this clear clarity, this knowledge, just knowing if I put in 1 hour of this class every day, I would be just fine. I'd be chilling, be able to understand the Excel formulas, it would work out. So I did for the first couple days. And then we had our first day where I was really ahead of the game and I was like, oh yeah, let's do anything for this class. It's like, well, duh. But if you want to be elite, then showing up would like really help. And again, it like solidifies that thing for you. So when we make a mistake or we do something foolish, I guess same thing, that can throw off our alignment to where we want to be in life. And that is a humbling thing to have happen to you and to choose, more or less. However, there's always hope through Christ to change, to let go. And a lot of it is just you just stop digging. You just, instead of like being like, oh, I want to look at all these different things. I want to see like how much more I could have done this or I could have done that. I want to do the math on this, on that. It's like it's wasted energy for the most part. Unless it's like positioning you to really just skyrocket. That was a yawn. So that was a yawn, in case you were wondering. A real yawn, authentic, not AI yawn. Could you imagine seeing an AI yawn? You're like watching an AI live stream in the future, and then it goes like, you're just like, is that AI trying to yawn because it's tired? Yeah. Anyway, that's that's it. There's been like one or two people that have shown up through this whole live stream, and I've been live for almost an hour, which is ludicrous considering we have 700. I have 771 subscribers now. It's worth noting that back in 2023, over a year since said breakup, this channel had like 50 subscribers. So God can make things big and wonderful in his timing. And it says in Ecclesiastes 3:11 about he makes everything beautiful in his time. Blah, blah, blah. And there's another yawn. So I need to get some sleep, just not right now. I need to work on some things. I think there's a part of me that feels really tired and wanting new blessings and new experiences. But to do that, to get to that point, you have to do well enough generally with where you are. Otherwise, you'll probably fumble the blessing or take advantage, which are both very not good things at all. So there we go. I mean, there's your yawn. That is what I have to say. I just want to witness of Christ and his ability to heal our broken hearts and souls, his ability to give us brand new life, abundant life through him, and just to change everything to better. So I live in a completely different life, completely new vibe and lifestyle and feeling and just script. And it's because of Christ healing me and helping me out. So I know he can do that for you and help you out with the day that you live and help you become better. And that he loves you no matter what. And you can show up however you want to show up, and he'll take you however you can, however you present yourself to him, and it will be okay. Oh, it's your fourth yawn, and that's like the biggest one of the live stream. So a lot of things that could be better. Overall, I'm grateful, feel very blessed, have a lot of good friends, and I just want to be a better person. And I have compassion on my past self, and I'm proud of him for at least trying and sticking around. So anyway, know that Jesus is the Christ, that he's aware of us, and I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.